Hopefully this thing is on. I believe it is. Before we start the ceremony tonight, as you guys all know, those of you that are friends with Dannny and Deena on Instagram and Facebook, they love taking pictures. So, before we start this evening, I brought a selfie stick with me. And I really would like to get Dannny and Deena with everybody in the background, their friends and family, if that's okay with you guys. This is how we're going to start tonight. Hold on one second as I load up the selfie stick. You knew there was going to be an unorthodox start. Come on. Everybody in the background, if you guys could smile really quickly. Get in there. Everybody in the background smile.
Get in. You have to duck down. You'll block all the guests.
Perfect. And that is the perfect start to an amazing wedding. And now the real stuff. Friends, family, yogis, concert goers, welcome and thank you for being here on this beautiful and important day as we celebrate the endless love between Dannny and Deena. Today, promises become permanent and friends become family. Love is in the air, and everyone sitting here today can feel it. Am I right? When Dannny and Deena asked me to be their officiant, there was zero hesitation on my end. There were a couple of instances where I wanted to somehow include square dancing in the ceremony, but I have rethought that decision after some wide-eyed glares and giggles from the lovely bride Deena when I brought it up. To have the opportunity to marry the most beautiful, elegant, and graceful bride on the planet to my brother, also known as the coolest, most handsome, charming, and very convincing groom out there, is not just special. It's the greatest honor of my life. And let's be honest, Dannny convinced the woman of his dreams to marry him today, so there really is no doubting his sales expertise, although I don't think that Deena needed much convincing tonight. I've had the opportunity to see Dannny and Deena's love blossom exponentially over the last few years. Deena has become one of my best friends and now sister, and I have never seen any two people make each other as happy as these two lovebirds that stand before me today. You know, a lot of people have asked me this question since Dannny and Deena met. Do you like her? The good thing here is that they already assume that I like my brother, which is true. And the other good thing here is that Deena is really the most amazing human being I have ever met. So the simple answer is yes, but Dannny and Deena's relationship is about far more than me liking them. I had the opportunity to sit down with both of them separately to talk about their love. I asked them about each other and jotted down some notes about their answers. For those of you that are very close to Deena, or even for those of you that are just meeting her for the first time this evening, know this: Deena loves words. Deena also loves stories. And when you put those two things together, stories and words, it makes for a beautiful and somewhat long story with a lot of words. Dannny is a little bit simpler in that regard, I've learned. He's a man that knows what he wants and doesn't use a lot of words to get across what he's trying to say. It's part of what makes him a great salesman, along with his passion for everything he loves in life, number one on that list being his lovely bride, Deena. So I sat on their couch as Dannny was on a work trip, and I posed this question to Deena. When did you know, and what were your first experiences like together? Her answer was a bit loaded, of course, so I'll try to explain it in fewer words. Dannny and Deena went on a Valentine's Day vacation to Colorado, and this is not the 50-day vacation that everyone in the audience has become very familiar with. And it was only after a few months of knowing each other. On that trip, Deena got severe altitude sickness and almost died. She had IV tubes attached to her. She laid in a hospital bed. Great start to a relationship. Nonetheless, Dannny stood by her side like they were an old married couple. Weeks later, I hope someone has tissues in the room for Dannny. Weeks later, they went to Philly where Dannny met Deena's parents for the first time. On that trip, Dannny asked Deena, "Where are we and what are we?" Deena's quick response, "Are you happy?" Dannny answered with a resounding, yes, happiest I've ever been in my life. Deena followed up with a short and sweet, great, me too. And that who are we conversation ended abruptly, but they both knew. Then a couple of months later in June, after they spent a lot of time together, Deena was planning on moving to New York City and began to look for a job. She was in a random art store after an interview, feeling really good about life, as you all know she always does, and she was looking at an art sketch in the store. She picked up one of the pieces, and on the back of it was a song called I Love You More. It was then where Deena realized she loved Dannny and felt an overwhelming burst of happiness. But they hadn't exactly exchanged an I love you quite yet. For the record, in the same question, Deena talked to me about when they first discovered that they both share a true love for their favorite tree, the weeping willow. Deena has since changed her number one tree as she now loves the banyan tree, in case anyone is wondering. Don't worry, I was able to get Deena back on track. On July 4th, they planned on going to the High Sierra Music Festival. I'm sure many of you in the crowd know that festival well. But the Friday before, while they were down in Philly, it was midnight when Mike Schlesinger, shout out to Timberlake Camp, texted Dannny, trying to convince him to make a last-minute trip to the Electric Forest Festival in Detroit, Michigan. Schles, as usual, had already planned out the travel for Dannny and Deena, and of course Dannny gave in very quickly. He shook Deena, told her to pack everything she had from Philly, and they drove Linda, Deena's mom's car, to LaGuardia, flew to Detroit, drove to the festival, and got there at noon on Saturday. A trip made in a grand total of 12 hours. That is really what perfectly describes them as a couple. They love spontaneity and last-minute trips, and they always have the best time no matter where they are and who they're with, as long as they're together. Later that week, while Deena was back in Philly and Dannny was in New York, Dannny got horrible food poisoning and was sick for days leading up to the High Sierra Music Festival. As Deena was taking care of Dannny and telling him that they really didn't have to force it and go to the festival, that's when it happened. Dannny turned to Deena, after multiple times getting sick in his apartment, looked her in the eyes and said, I love you so much. Deena quickly responded, I love you too. And in typical romantic fashion, they went to the festival. Dannny threw up a few more times on the plane, and that was when they knew it was for real. Dannny said he knew it was meant to be right after the first night they spent together. It was nothing short of amazing, he said. They went to Schles's apartment, had a blast with some of Dannny's close friends, and they spent the night together. Deena came back later the next week for his birthday, bought him an awesome gift, and they actually ran into our cousin Joe at the Taquiteria, a restaurant right down the block from Dannny's apartment. Deena's ease around Dannny's friends and family made him realize she is something special. In his own words, Dannny says that Deena is always making the best out of what life throws at her, and she knows that she's going to be an incredible mother to their future children. She's an independent woman that knows how to get through life on her own, and at the same time, they are incredible complements to each other. It's like a puzzle that fits perfectly together. Months after they met, Dannny met Deena's family for the first time at Deena's uncle's on Memorial Day. On the way home, Deena was in the back of the car with their whole family and with Dannny and on his lap, and she said she didn't feel well. She felt so comfortable with him that instead of getting sick in a bag, she put it down and got sick all over Dannny. That was Dannny's first time meeting the family, and instead of getting upset about it, he made the best of it and took care of her. And while getting sick seems to have been a consistent trend in the beginning of their relationship, it did not deter their quest for true love. I then asked, what do you like most about living with each other? Deena had a very fast response to this one, his Amazon Prime account, of course. She then smiled and told me how amazing it is to come home and be on the couch with your best friend. How nice it is that Dannny has a true passion for a dying breed that is home landlines, so that when the phone rings, she doesn't have to pick it up. How amazing it is that the two of them are both natural-born hosts. They love throwing parties and having people at their apartment, as most of you already know. And I could certainly attest to that after they took me in for a month, a little over a year ago, as Deena almost cried as if she was my mom sending me off to college when it was my time to finally get my own apartment again. But the final part of Deena's answer shocked me. She told me that she loves when Dannny is home because he loves to cook. Huh? Weekend mornings, he makes eggs, cuts up fruit. Thanks, Dad, for that when we were kids. And he loves making omelets. While it is somewhat shocking that my brother cooks for Deena, all of this goes to show you how much Dannny and Deena truly love living with each other. Dannny told me that he simply loves walking in their apartment and seeing her there. There's never a time when he doesn't want to be with her, and there's never a sense of stress in the apartment. In his words, good vibes only. A perfect definition of their overall beautiful relationship. Of course, last but not least, it's always important to hear what people close to Dannny and Deena have to say about their relationship. Not surprisingly, their close family and friends told me nothing but the best. Brooke and Amanda, two of Deena's best friends and excellent MCs last night, I must add, both told me about their first impressions of Dannny, and both take full credit for setting both of them up. Brooke told me that she was nervous and intimidated by Dannny as he interviewed her for a sales position. Amanda mentioned how her first impression of Dannny was, "Who the heck is the guy in the bucket hat?" It's safe to say that they have both done complete 180s on Dannny, and they know that he is the best possible person for their best friend. They both look forward to the many late-night hangs with D&D in the future. Steve Richard told me that what makes their relationship special is the way that they compliment and stand up for one another. If they have a disagreement, a civil compromise is not far behind, especially if wine is involved. They're perfect for each other, and to know one is to know the other, and to love one is to love the other. The Deenies are a package deal. Albert, Deena's brother, told me that he cannot wait to have Dannny as the brother that he's never had. What he loves about Dannny so much is how incredibly happy he makes his sister. Sammy told me about the first time she hung out with Dannny and Deena together. The three of them went to Washington Square Park, and Dannny had an onion on his eye and started to twirl and dance with Deena in the middle of the park. Not shocking for those of you that know them pretty well. Sammy immediately texted Alex, her boyfriend, saying, "Wow, I'm so jealous of their relationship and the fact that they could dance soberly and randomly in a park together. So cute." My parents told me that what makes Deena and Dannny's love so special is that they are true soulmates and partners in life whose light and spirit brighten up a room. Their combined chemistry creates fun, laughter, and lots of energy for all those around. Love for them is effortless. Linda and Franklin, Deena's parents, told me that what makes Dannny and Deena so unique is the magic that they have together. You know how when you see your wife, husband, or partner and say they're the one? When we saw Deena and Dannny together right from the beginning, we knew that he was the right one for our daughter. So after talking to everyone, I could simply say in my own words that these two incredible humans are about to become one. Their bond will only get stronger as they grow older, and if you aren't a true believer in fate, tonight should change that, because their relationship changes your mind. So now that we've heard the radiant words from others about the enchanting couple, it's time to pass the microphone to the bride and groom. Dannny and Deena, in a moment, you will exchange your vows to each other. These promises are meant to be beautiful and a sacred expression of your love for each other. You will be making promises about a future that you can't be sure of, a life that you don't know how it will turn out, and a marriage that you don't know what it'll face. But all that matters is that you will do it together. So without further ado, Dannny. Of course, they both gave me their vows to hold.
Deena. Oh, man. You are the most beautiful person in the entire world, both inside and out. I can't wait to continue on this incredible journey through life with you. Even though I think that right now it's not possible to love anyone more than I love you, I promise to love you more each day, more than the day before. I promise to try and make every day with you the best day of our lives. I promise to help you make decisions when you're having trouble deciding. I promise to never let anything in our world be a competition and to face life as a team. I promise to admit when I am wrong and to apologize for my mistakes. I promise to wake up every morning and continue as we do today by saying 3 things that we're grateful for. I promise to live a life with you of joy and positivity and keep on laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. I promise to do more yoga with you. And I promise to dance through life, enjoying everything and every moment that this beautiful world has to offer. I love you.
And now we take it over to Deena.
Dannny, as surreal as it is to be here in this room full of so much love, I've never felt more right about any decision. You are compassionate, authentic, and patient, and wise, and adventurous, and soulful. And well, you are my person, and I am madly in love with you. My heart is so full knowing and embracing that we are our own unique individual selves, and here today we celebrate our connectedness. Though we are physically separate beings, our similarities, values, and passions intertwine, and we are completely and infinitely connected. You accept and love every piece of me and see things in me that I am still learning about myself. You push my boundaries and help me grow to a fuller, more creative, confident, loving version of myself. You make me the best me, and I vow to love and accept every ounce of you. I promise to listen. I promise to communicate always. I promise to make you laugh and to be there when you cry. I promise to help you be the best and fullest version of you. I love you.
Thanks, guys. I don't know if there's a clear eye in the room after that one. So next, I'd like to call upon Deena's brother, Albert, who is the ring bearer this evening. Albert, if you could please present to me the rings.
Sure thing.
Thank you, sir. These rings are a symbol of the unbroken circle of love. They symbolize the beauty of love and how it has no beginning and it has no end. May these rings always remind you of the vows you have taken and your everlasting love for each other. Dannny, if you could take this ring, and please... Wrong one. And repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
For today and tomorrow, for all the days to come.
For today and tomorrow, and for all the days to come.
Wear it as a sign of what we have promised on this day.
Wear it as a sign of what we have promised on this day.
And know that my love is present.
And know that my love is present.
Even when I am not.
Even when I am not.
You may place the ring on the bride's finger. Deena, please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
For today and tomorrow, and for all the days to come.
For today and tomorrow, and for all of the days to come.
Wear it as a sign of what we have promised on this day.
Wear it as a sign as what we have promised on this day.
And know that my love is present.
And know that my love is present.
Even when I am not.
Even when I am not.
This way, right, left?
Left, yes. Left finger. It's the right finger. And with that, it's somewhere here. The glass is right over here. We will conclude with a Jewish tradition that goes back centuries. I'm going to place this right here. Yeah? Hoping this is the glass and not something else. The final act of this ceremony is the shattering of the glass. The old Jewish tradition has many interpretations. Dannny and Deena, tonight, this glass symbolizes the clarity of your love for each other and the shattering of your old separate lives as you begin a new one together. Dannny, step on the glass. And with the power vested in me by the state of Pennsylvania, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Bobby has to go.
Okay.